Alrighty, folks, with the base down low, we're gonna jump right into it. Legion Tower, remember me, versus technically Schrodinger's carry. However, we're gonna go for Shrocat just to simplify things. Shrocat gonna be on the left in blue for this round. Remember me in red. Current bans are as followed. Shrocat banning out the Pharah, probably predicting the flex DPS would run it, but don't know why they would. Maybe Makumi rubbing off on this team a bit. On the side, remember, they did ban out the Diva. But we're immediately getting into this mid-fight here. Jericho going deep. Rosa has already found one, so Shrocat going far back as soon as they lose another player. So while Shrocat is regrouping, let's check out the tonight's lineup. Of course, you got Jericho and Raza going to be the DPS lineup for Remember Me. Neptune stepping up as tank. Sam is back into this lineup, so no longer Makumi main support. And Nightmare. The fight's evolving as Jericho kind of ints into it. Lucio going to try to bail him out, but immediately caught between a rock and a hard place here. Sam going down. Followed by the rest of Remember Me boys. They did get the point flip here, however, with most of their players dead, Showcat's gonna take on it. Let's talk about the Showcat roster. RX gonna be on the tank, Digital and CC gonna be the support lineup, so you can see them on Akiriko and Lucy respectively. And the DPS duo of Watts and Levy gonna be on the Sojourn and the Vendetta. Jericho already found out, however. A trade for DPS is for DPS. Neptune finding the next DPS. So Neptune's found two in this fight, coming up critical as the fight has progressed into the small room. As we see a fight for this point here, it's going to be the two Lucios here with the Kiriko. The rest of Remember Me is going to decide to kite back to point, as this is actually a prime position for Neptune. With it, Jericho, of course, going to be a 1v5, being bailed out from his teammate. A speed boost to get Neptune in there, really hunted down. Nightmare and Jericho fall down first. I'm surprised not. Grab is good for 2. Raza steps in for 3. Our Neptune with that Panopticon does get some advantages here. And right now this could go either way. Raza's stuck in a harder place and Jericho is finally back into this fight. Gets the cleanup kill that Raza did most of the work for. We're going to go over to the scoreboard as we see Jericho. 3 deaths, highest in the lobby, tied for Watts on the opposite side. The point flip did come in, and the Kitsune Rush is out. Raza fighting CC, but Jericho again going to be the first one to fall onto Remember Me. Remember, you do get this point flip here, so it is a 3v3. Sorry is going to push for luck, going forward for Team Showcat. Finds Lucio. Raza's going to pop the OC, finds the head of the Kiriko. They're still W'ing into Raza. Remember, he still has this point flip. Jericho's back, gets the slice on to Showcat's kill. Of course, Neptune finds Levi here. But the point is flipped back to Showcat's. Showcats, Remember Me, constantly flipping those points back and forth. CC and Watts here, separated from the team, but with movement abilities they get out. Oh, scratch that. CC going down here. Ultimate's coming up the board. You have the Sundering Blade for both team. Watts has that OC on the side of Showcats. Probably going to get answered by the Lucio here, because that's the only ultimate I could see them possibly coming in. Now, Neptune could probably build a Panopticon here. All depends if Jericho lives or not. He's facing a Kiriko and the Vendetta by himself. But here comes a Sundering Blade by Sam. Does get the beat off. Good for 3 here. Actually, good for 4, but the Sundering Blade just kind of chews through beat. 94% for Remember Me, as most of their team has gone down. It is a 3v5 here. Looking for any picks they can would be huge for Remember Me. Panopticon does come out. Neptune with 1. Raza finds 1. Neptune finds 1. OC popped on the side of Showcats. Gonna clean up the rest of Remember Me. Scratch that. Jericho might see something coming up. Sundering Blade goes out. It's Sam Jericho versus the Lucio Czar on the side of Showcats. Remember, we do at this point. Grab, good for 1, good for Sam. Jericho goes down and Sam follows suit. Showcats having to expend big there eventually do get the point flip here at 75%. Remember, we just need one more percentage to win that, but they're going to have to go back to the drawing board as Raza eats 2 kunai here. We're going to go over to the POV of the Showcat's Kiriko as they're 85 and close. Gets pinned against the wall. Neptune almost kills it, but like I was saying before, this Kasune Rush is going to be big. There's only a Kasune Rush for Kasune Rush on it. For both teams. One Kasune Rush out, another follows. Sam gets let out with the help of Nightmare. Right now, the health bar is looking in favor of Remember Me. Jericho does get CC, however, this Zarya is still very much alive. What's going down on the time of Showcats here? Looks like that's going to be all she wrote here on Lijiang Night Market. Jericho getting 3 plus himself. Call that a 4-piece. Remember Me, up 1-0 here on Lijiang Tower.
Ready for battle.
Remember to drink water, everyone, especially now that the weather is getting hot. Talking about hot, if you want the latest sources for all things Remember Me, go over to our Twitter, Remember Me _Overwatch, capital R, capital M, capital OW. That's where you can find all the good news.
5, 4.
But besides that, we'll head right back into this match as we're heading into Lijiang Gardens here.
Capture the objective.
Both teams running off on similar comps, except for the ball on the side of Showcats here. Gonna be a very interesting comp to get through. Jericho goes long, goes down to half, and now you see the pressure coming into Jericho. Neptune does find that isolation onto the Sojourn on the bridge here. And right now, the amount of boops going off is crazy. You got the boop from both. You got actually a lot of boops. I was about to say just maybe 2 characters there. No, Neptune can boop. Both Lucios can boop. Both Vendettas can boop. You just got a lot of boops. And of course, Ball notorious for that disruption. Talking about notorious for disruption. Look how much resources went into Jericho there. He got the shield. Perfect placement by Neptune, by the way. And he got the Suzu from downtown. Nightmare really keeping his flex DPS up here. This ball really hasn't done too much, almost dies. Talking about which, Jericho looking to die again, and does. However, Raza immediately trades it out for CC on the opposite side for Showcat. So you're missing a DPS, but you take a support down with him. No ults really can be built up here. Maybe Raza if he does an incredible amount of damage, but the amount of damage would probably be to the OC. Speaking of which, he rips the head off. We're going to go over to the Raza POV. Leave that easy. Eventually we will, but we'll go over to Neptune as he's already got a kill onto Digital. And some quick resets by CC to get Showcats regrouping and rearmed. That ball 92% towards Mines. Probably get it next fight. They're going to get a late kick onto a Cassidy as Watts switches over from the Sojourn to the Cass here. But back onto the ults, like I said, Neptune could have this mid-fight. Ball on the opposite side has the Mines. And another beautiful placement in the shield, keeping his team very much alive here. Talking about which, you see Mines on point and on bridge here. You love to see that double mine perk. Actually, it's corny as fuck. I hate that mine perk. But that doesn't matter as the fight is digressing. Jericho over here with Nightmare fighting both supports and does get it in a overhead swing to catch Levi out. Jericho looking for more kills here. The high noon was popped there, but Jericho's Thunder Blade is good. They're going to shut the door on Showcat. 100-0 on Lijiang Gardens. We're going to be right back as we're going to throw it to the intermission as I set up the next slide. Remember Me up 1-0. Alrighty, folks, with the change of the song, we're going to change it back over to some Overwatch here. We're going to learn how to Runa Sapi here. Of course, Remember Me up in this series 1-0. We see an interesting lineup. I don't think I've ever seen Neptune Ball, so we're going to go over to that. Raza, of course, on the Soldier 7... Not of course. He's on the Soldier 76. Nightmare is going to be on the Cat here. Jericho going to be onto the one of the 3 characters he does know play. On the opposite side, very interesting composition over here by Shrocat. A very tight-knit composition of the Bastion, Sigma, Bap, Lucio with the Mei here. Sam in a dangerous location, but they're looking for that boot. I don't know if it was just good angles here or not, but a lot of Showcats are low. Neptune has that tank and cannot finish the Baptiste off. But Showcat's still down one player. As you see the Bastion slowly making himself over to the point. Jericho going for that classic 1v3. Not going to get any value so far. So far, the kills have not come in. It looks like the Bastion's about to rejoin this fight. A lot of Showcats, however, are quite low. They're hunkering down in this room. Raza eventually does get CC with the help of his team. And of course, this Bastion looking for it. Neptune finally gets the boop off the map, and Sam with some Cheerios going over to that Bastion, getting his second death of the match here. You see Neptune on this, not Neptune, Nightmare on this cat. Jericho gonna run away with the bot. He does have Pulse Bomb in hand. But this Sig is very isolated from this. Yeah, I misspoke. It's not. His team is back, but Jericho just keeps running away with this bot. A beautiful rock comes out, and a Nightmare does put him down, but not out. Looks like we're going to start taking the fight over to another angle, as the checkpoint has already been secured. Jericho did that basically free here. Now remember me, look at how spread out they are on the map. Nightmare's going to be the tattoo. A Pulse Bomb gets two! Sticks the Bastion, kills onto the Lucio. Jericho hitting these Pulse Bombs now. Wonder where that came from. Gets the Mei here. And Sam is going to be the first one. No. I was going to say the first one to join the Death Club, but that is simply not true. Nightmare does find two on the Dirty Cat. Alright, the action's now starting to get going. Jericho going to be the first one to get poked out. Looks like he's going to give some space, but he really wants to hold this high ground. Nightmare, the cat, euthanized finally. Was the one they isolated and stuck up on. Don't know how Nightmare got caught there. Cat, very mobile of a character here. Oh! Oh my god, Raza just made him Ajax here. Sam, feeling himself, beats for 4 against 1 here. That was a beautiful kill onto the Lucio here. I'm gonna be honest, a bit ambitious of the Lucio on the side of Showcats here. But does get it. I'm gonna go over to this thing, 'cause I think where's the Raza POV? Give me the Raza POV. Well, you're gonna get the cat POV because I'm smashing all the buttons. You see the tack visor coming out. Jericho does get one, but no, nothing got from the tack visor cat here. Unfortunate. Raza eventually is found out. We're gonna get some cat POV. Jericho finding the Baptiste. And with the help of cat, a Sombra and Nightmare finally taken out of the sky here. Bot is running away. Not running away for the most part, but getting out of position. They go over to the Sombra Showcats group. Trying to put a lot of pressure onto this ball of Neptune here. Actually, most of them remember me as they're a very agile composition here. Like I said, look at the space these are playing for. Surprised that even got it, but it did get Sam. Raza, however, trades the Sig out. Rest Remember Me is cleaning up Showcat quite nicely here. Raza, again, gonna clean this out. But yeah, the amount of CC Showcat does have on the field. They have the sleep, you know, they have the stun, they have the hack. And they're going over to the ball. We saw this ball last one on Legion Tower. Didn't look too convincing, so let's see. Talking about not looking convincing, how the hell do you miss a ball that's in front of your face, Jericho? Know who doesn't miss, though? Raza with Helix Rockets. Right now, the only ults we remember me here are going to be Neptune with the Minefield and Nightmare with this... What do you call it? A cat ult? I have no idea what you call cat ult. But the mines are out here all over the field. You see the double mine purchase. He's abducting the ball. Gonna see how much damage they can throw into it. Looks like a lot. High noon pop. Nightmare again euthanized in the sky. Put down like the third cat I knew. Sam goes down, so there's gonna be no support lineup for Remember Me, and Roz is gonna be the last one to get picked out unless this ball is found out by Neptune here. They're putting a lot of pressure onto Neptune, but it looks like he will get out. Maybe hack. Good for 5 here. No, good for 4. My bad. Misspoke. Levy gets 5 on Remember Me. That's going to be a big ult, and it looks like they're going to get their first bit of progress here. The question is it already too late for Shrocat here? Only having to commit 1 ult to that fight is good. However, Remember Me is slowly building up a large ult bank with Sam, Jericho, and Nightmare able to get it. However, scratch that, Jericho probably not going to get mid-fight here. The Nano onto the cast. Finds Sam here, hunting down anyone they can find. Look how fast this cast is with that Nano perk. Both slams out. Let's see if I can get Roz's POV. There we go, that's what I found. Roz, he's on F1 for some reason. No. And just in time as we have a Sights and Cat. The beat good for 4 on the side of Team Shrocat. Hunting down this Lucio, you want it. Enemy AC 130 in the sky. Not quite the Bastion, and not quite as effective as the good kill streak we all know. An interesting little duo that I was not expecting to see here. Nightmare gets hacked. A lot of people looking at him. Beat out for Sam. Good for 3. So right now, 3v3 for both Show and Remember Me. It looks like 2 DPS on the side and a tank on the side of Showcats. DPS support and tank on the side of Remember Me. It looks like the cleanup's coming out. Remember Me do get it, but Showcats did get the checkpoint, so they do get some advantageous spawns. You're probably going to see a mid-fight here. Coming up. Only thing on Showcat's side, though, is that High Noon hadn't been effective before. I think only finding 1. That's because they were standing absolutely just right in front of him. Remember Me does have a good ult bank. You know, Neptune's getting greased. Go charging this big straightaway here with these mines. Jericho throws a pulse bomb out. Does not get it. Here comes the mine spread. Just look how much area those cover. Absolutely insane. Slam comes out, no one's going to touch it, but does slow down the map for a little while. We're going to go over to Watts' POV. If I can ever find it, as they do have the High Noon ready. You see Raza taking a beautiful angle, pressuring down Watts. Jericho also here too, gets flash and kill. You see Jericho and Nightmare always on this angle here, but eventually does get pushed down. I don't think the High Noon is going to be used. Nightmare getting out. The amount of pressure. Sam gets his head taken off, and that's all she wrote for this defensive battle for Remember Me, only expending 1 ultimate. Yeah, I believe only 1 ultimate here. But if we were talking about ults, we gotta talk about how Team Shrocat, all 5 of their ultimates, Mines, Nano, High Noon, Beat. However, oh, the Lucio almost going off here. High Noon's not gonna come out. The Watts is found out and killed by the rest of Remember Me. Beat out for Team Showcats. Good for 4. C6. EMP, good for 2 here. Does get Sam. Raza also caught in it, but will it matter? He is isolated in a small room, is killed. Jericho does find the elimination onto the Ana, however. But I think a little too late, but Remember Me did get 2 ultimates out there. 2 really powerful ones, if that. They did get the Beat and the... Oh, Jericho finds the Sombra here. He is traded, but like I was saying, very 2 powerful ultimates they got out there. They got the Beat, they got the EMP here. All that's left is the High Noon, Nano, and...
Overtime.
Mines. Raza, of course, having that attack visor. Let's see if we'll see the cat come out again. See ball pushing. Jericho does get the pulse bomb on the Ana. Nano's about to come out. There's no defensive ultimates here. High noon out. Nightmare dies, but his package was delivered. Raza kills Watts, the Cassidy on the side. Neptune going down. It is a 2v2. You got the ball. You got the loose. The Sombra. Sam Jericho not going to let it go, and ball is found out. Remember Me is going to take Ruasapi here. Going up to match point. It is 2-0, Remember Me. We'll throw it right back to intermission as we get the next scene set up. Do not go anywhere. Alright, with the song gently fading out of sight here, Remember Me is rocking this match. Right now, 2-0. Match point. Remember Me up against Shrocat, the current bans right now. Remember Me banning out this diva. Shrocat, of course, hitting the loose. Not of course. I keep saying of course like means it. Bans the Lucio out. An interesting pick here. We'll see what they run. Looks like CC is going to be over to the Mitsuki here. Could be useful against a very mobile comp here. The only person really going to be looking for those chains here, though, is going to be Jericho when he does the engage. Looks like the tank on the side of... Sorry, on the side of Shrocat is going to go over that ball once again. I'm not too impressed with ball players, but that is just personal me opinion. We're going to POV of Raza. As Watts has already been killed, but that was via Neptune's hands. Of course, like I said, those chains are only going to on Jericho, and talking of Jericho, he's going to go back into spawn. Beautiful pick by the Mitsuki here. Talking about following him, both Sam and Watts. He following them back to spawn. Nightmare needs some help, does not get it. Razov's gonna fall over. So with that, I think that's gonna be Remember Me giving up the point right now, 38%, and to... Sorry, not your stroke. 31% for Remember Me and 14 and counting for Show. Jericho out alone, needs some swing by support. The Suzu already popped out by Nightmare here, that's not going to be useful. And Neptune does get the Suzuki, and this is where you're going to start wondering if the Suzuki is useful too much here. As you're healing, while you do have the hat, mainly relying on the aura that he has. Neptune needs some TLDR as he ate the pulse bomb here. We're going to go over to Sam POV, as he does have that rally. He's going to be the only ult right now up. Jericho Nightmare, of course, can build it. The closest one on the time. The team CC is CC and Knots. However, with a beautiful rally, stuns out the ball, and it is burnt through here. But yeah, team Shrocat. No ults on the board right now. Of course, Digital could probably build it. Maybe CC. The only person to really pop ult right now is Levi. Or CC. We're talking about the ults. Not going to get it this fight. Or this point, as Remember Me do capture out the point here on Atlas. See Jericho swinging away at the ball. And even more chase. We're going to go over to the Jericho POV. As they do have Sunray Blade. But every time we look away, Raza or another member of Remember Me does get the kill. Talking about getting kills, that's two-piece right there. For our Chick-fil-A loving friend, Raza. The point's going to unlock. I think Remember Me is going to get to be the first one to capture it pretty confidently before even a fight begins. Because of those pick by Raza. However, this is going to be an alt fight here. You have Digital with the Kitsune Rush. You have CC also with the Kitsune Rush. Here comes the Kitsune Rush by Digital, like I was saying. Followed quickly by Nightmare here. It's going to be on point in a second, but we're looking at Jericho hunt down a ball. We're going to go over to where the POV fight is. The Sanctuary out because Raza popping that OC, a beautiful counter for it. And an OC on the opposite side for what? Penopticon does get its target. That was actually beautifully weaved in there by Neptune here. Of course, it was on the Digital. Jericho finishing it off with some kills. And Neptune finding the rest of that support line. So, just great cleaning up work for Remember Me. Sitting at 64%. Only ult for Shrocat is going to be this Pulse Bomb. Now, who are you going to stick? That's the big question here, because a lot of Faceit revivability for Remember Me. Maybe you throw on Raza. He's going to be the only one really without any, like, kit that would really help him there. Jericho does have that Sundering Blade, but we're not going to see it. As Levi is going to switch over to the Vendetta, and remember, he's going to take their point. We're on match point, folks, and we're also on map point. Remember me, closest one to this next point on Resort here. This could be the final point of this map. Of course, Jericho's the only one with ult. Sam coming up quite quickly on it. Not going to see it as Jericho goes down. I think maybe Remember Me stayed a little too long forward. And you can see the support line fall back. Do they see Raza here? He's being quite cheeky. Look at that. Look at my boy Raza. Hide and seek world champion. They do not see this man. We're going to hold him in his POV. See how he engages on it. The rest of his team's already engaged. Hasn't done anything. Just shut up the Disruptor. They still do not know he's here. Rally's popped by Sam though. Nightmare already finding it. And Raza finally into this fight. Sam goes down with the rally here. But Raza does find his one. Levi gonna jump onto Raza. Is caught, but CC finally gets the guy hiding in his app. Rally, Nightmare finding the counterpart on Digital. And while Team Shrocat do get the first point flip, looks like Remember Me is going to quickly tie this up right now, sitting at 27 apiece here. And again, this is match point on map point. So Shrocat really has to dig deep here. They're going to go over that Zarya, going to try to help their Vendetta. Basically act as another support for them. Here comes the Sundering Blade. It looks like everyone's going to get out except the Zarya here. Too slow without any speed there. Sundering Blade does enough damage coming in. It looks like Levi going to be found out next. Shrocat going to have to go back to the drawing board. And if they die here, which looks like CC will, they're going to get one more point fight here. You see Watts slowly sneaking his way over to the point. But the rest of his team do have to brute force it out. You see Watts going to step onto the point here. It is 94% by Remember Me. Don't know if he'll catch it. Panopticon. Good for nothing here. As the shield comes out from Shrocat. Already down. Oh. I was getting a little too ahead of myself. We're going to go back there a little bit. So we can see. Scratch that, we're not going to do that. Remember Me do take Atlas, though. Convincing, well, without any trouble, really. That map, 3-0 for Remember Me here. In their second match, of course. With a forfeit going over from Ohio State. They are now 2-1 on the season here. Let me see if we can update the score. There we go. 2-1 on the season. Next opponent, I think, is going to be Leica Academy, if I'm not wrong. And I could be very much wrong here. Yeah, it looks like Leica Academy this Wednesday on the 25th. If you like it, please follow our Twitter account because we're announcing the player who will be live streaming that game. Otherwise, their last official game versus Element Dragon, that's going to be uploaded tonight around midnight, so be on the lookout for that onto my YouTube channel. You can find that in the little info box below. But besides this, talking about this game, it will be uploaded in its fully on Tuesday. Other than that, thank you and good night.